Yes, good evening, everyone. We are glad to have you join us today once again to be part of today's training. And today we are on the 8th of the training. So, and it's going to be an interesting time once again to be having this today's training. So, good evening once again. I welcome all of you uh, for today's training. It has been a wonderful time all this while. We have been having great time learning and then having an understanding what emotional intelligence is all about, and our emotions are being groomed in such a way that now we can understand what emotional intelligence is all about, how we can use our intelligence, how we can apply our emotions, regulate our emotions to make sound decisions in the environment where we find ourselves, in our business operations, in our community meetings. We have the opportunity to know what emotional intelligence is all about. So we can use our emotional intelligence to take effective decisions and make productive efforts to resolve conflict. So once again, I want to appreciate all of you that have been committed to be part of this training. You have sacrificed your time, you have sacrificed your energy, your resources to be part of this training. From day one up to this very moment, you people have been on board. And I want to also appreciate those of you that have been so consistently, appreciating what the Institute is doing to at least educate the populace, because that is one of our mandate as an institution, is to educate the general public on conflict resolution, on peace building, and so many other aspects of our lives. So we feel that we are just fulfilling our responsibility, and we have the privilege to have you being part of those that, at least at this point in time, we are discussing and sharing knowledge with. So we are privileged that we have you to join the training. At the same time, we are also happy that you are appreciating what we are doing. I particularly want to appreciate Prof. Rooney, who has taken time to pen down what his experience with the Institute, and it's so encouraging. Our members who are ambassadors of peace are also appreciating what the Institute is doing. So we are particularly grateful to all of you that are making good commendations concerning what we are doing. And we are motivated, we are encouraged by your words, by your appreciation, we are encouraged. So we want to also appreciate you for taking time to be part of this, and also for recognizing the fact that in our own way, we are creating impact. And we believe that as you know the knowledge can be applied, and then we can make our society better. That is our goal, and that is our aim of conducting this training, so that by the time we know, we can do. Do you understand? It's only when you know that it takes steps. You cannot get to a particular destination if you don't know the road that leads to that destination. It's only when you know the road that leads to a particular destination that you take steps that leads to that place. So for us, we are showing you the way, and once you know the way, you can go further to apply the knowledge you acquired in your workplace, in your community, in your family, and then bring peace in your home, bring peace in our communities, bring peace in our world. So uh, that is what is driving us, and we are grateful that we have you at this time listening to us and being part of the training. So thank you for joining today's training as well. Today we are going to look at, my name once again is Mr. Tavle Joshua, the Registrar of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management, your privileged servant to be talking to you at this point in time. I'll be talking with you as much as opportunities are presented to me to talk to you. And then again, before we continue our training, we are going to develop some topics. So by Thursday, maybe topics on emotional intelligence so that we can bring you into the studio in our peace clinic so that we can share, discuss. It's good that we should hear from you. It's one way of for us to evaluate what we have been doing, whether you have been understanding us or not. So for those of you that want to be featured in Peace Clinic on Thursday, you make a comment to indicate your interest so that on Thursday, by tomorrow, or even this night, we can send you a topic, or we are going to bring 4 of you. We'll just select 4 of you and then send a topic to you. So you go through it, prepare, just study, look at it, and then so that on Thursday you come into the studio, you can share your own perspective based on the question we'll be asking. Oh no, do you understand? So it's going to be an interactive session. We'll be asking questions and we expect response from you, the participants that will be featured. So, but we'll give you the topics. You go ahead and listen to them, and then also come into the studio to share your knowledge and your perspective. So it's going to be interactive. It's not just going to be one-on-one. So it's going to be interactive. You can connect and then share your perspective on a question. Once we hear a question, once we ask a question, we expect to hear everybody respond. All right. So it's going to be a very interesting time together on Thursday. So if you're interested to be featured on Thursday, you will indicate interest, and so we will share the topic that we want to, discuss on Thursday with you. You go take time on Wednesday, prepare. On Thursday, you also prepare, ransack, and check, and then prepare to be part of the training. So thank you very much for joining the training today. So today we're going to look at conflict resolution, right? Conflict resolution. That's we're going to look at unit 2 of module 3, and we are looking at conflict resolution, right? So we'll be examining how emotional intelligence help you to resolve conflicts, the importance of emotional intelligence in conflict resolution, how you can apply your emotional intelligence to resolve conflicts. What are those strategies that you can use to resolve conflicts in whenever you have one, or whenever one is confronting you? What do you do? What are the strategies? What are the ways you can control your emotions? Because one of the things that make us not to be able to resolve our conflicts or our differences is because of our emotions. Our emotions, we are too emotional. You understand? Too highly emotional. And if we see, and the other time I was saying that you should not be too emotional. You understand? One of the things that beclouds our reasoning and our inability to resolve conflict is our emotions. When you are too highly emotional, that's either you are too angry or you are so much broken down that you cannot be able to communicate effectively. You understand? That is somebody, for instance, now, because of a matter that happened, somebody is just crying. He's just crying throughout. He cannot even open the mouth and say anything. And then just crying. Do you understand? Break down completely. So such kind of person cannot be able to resolve conflict. It's highly emotional, too much. And then we'll talk about someone who is just angry, just too angry. That is, he cannot just listen to anybody. So such kind of person cannot also be able to resolve conflict. So we can learn how to regulate our emotions to resolve conflict. I hope you guys are listening to me. You can hear me. All right. So this is what. So we're going to look at how emotional intelligence helps you to resolve conflict. But first and foremost, what is conflict resolution? I must have defined conflict resolution in the course of this training, but it's key that I still make emphasis here. We say that conflict resolution is a process of addressing, all right, and resolving disputes or disagreements between parties in a constructive and professional and peaceful and respectful manner. Do you understand? That's what it means. So it is an essential skill in both personal and professional settings. So you don't just need the conflict resolution skills only in a professional setting, but also in a personal, that is in your home in your personal interactions with people, you need conflict resolution skills, because we say that conflict is inevitable. It occurs anywhere, at any time, where people coexist, interact, and co-work. Do you understand? Where people live together, where they work together, where they interact and exist together, conflict is bound to occur. That's what makes conflict inevitable. And we also agree that conflict is a natural part of life. Do you understand? So don't look at conflict as something that is so terrible. No, welcome conflict. The problem is not the arrival of the conflict, but the problem is how to resolve the conflict. And that is why we're taking time to teach you the conflict resolution skills. Do you understand? So if you understand and learn how to resolve conflict, then you have no challenge at all. You can interact with anybody, you can deal with anybody. Do you understand? You can stay in a place where maybe you can stay with a landlord and you don't have problem with the landlord at all. You understand? Because you have the skills to resolve conflicts. That is what it means. Landlords can sometimes, be, bossy. Even though when you pay them rent, they still want to regret you. Do you understand? So you can still stay with them and then you don't have any challenge at all. Do you understand? When you learn how to resolve conflict. I'm just giving you one instance. There are so many instances at the personal level, interacting with people that you can resolve conflict. So you need conflict resolution skills. One of the skills that will make you to be successful in life. If you lack conflict resolution abilities, you cannot even last in a particular job, in a particular employment. Do you understand? Because you lack conflict resolution skills. And another thing is you lack emotional intelligence. You don't control your emotions, so you cannot even last. That's why some people are employed today, tomorrow they are sacked. You understand? So you must possess some level of conflict resolution skills or management skills. Do you understand? Whichever way you need, all right, to have conflict resolution skills. So let's look at the principles and strategies that can help you to resolve conflict effectively. What are those principles, all right, and strategies you can deploy to resolve conflict? All right. One is open communication. Communication should be open and honest. When it comes to conflict resolution, you must be honest and open in communication. You understand? Today we had an issue with road safety, and I was open in communication with them, and so they appreciated the fact that I was open in communication. Do you understand? So we received a lesser punishment compared to what they were proposing to give based on our interaction. Do you understand? So because we have actually disagreement. So but at the end of the day, issues were resolved in such a way that we move and they also go their own way. Do you understand? Because there was an open communication, there was an honest communication. There was no issue to beat around the bush or begin to drag or begin to cause trouble. Errors were admitted. Do you understand? You first and foremost admit the error, admit your own mistake, or admit the fact that there is a problem. Another thing, the problem most of the time, one of the reasons why we fail to, sometimes we have problems, is that we fail to recognize the existence of the problem in the first place. And that's why we have conflict. But when you recognize that there's a problem, then you can easily resolve that problem. Do you understand? That's what it means. So open and honest communication between the parties and among the parties involved in the conflict can help to resolve conflict. Do you understand? So listen actively to the perspectives of others. All right. So I was discussing with the road safety officers. They were saying their viewpoint. I was saying my own. Okay, they talk their own. I say my own. Do you understand? So there was at no point in time that I was interrupt them when they were talking, and there was no point in time that they also tried to interrupt me when I was talking. So we're able to resolve our conflicts and our problem amicably, and we move on. Do you understand? That's what it means. So try to listen actively to the other person's perspectives and express your own thoughts and feelings clearly and respectfully. That's what happened. I'm using a practical example of what happened today, right? We were going to Cuba to go and, we are working on a particular movie. It's, to promote our peers as well. And that we're trying to teach something in that movie. So, and then we are still on the scene. We are still working on it. So we're going to Kowa to go and do it. And we met them on the way, and there is, disagreement here and there. Do you understand? But we were able to settle it based on the fact that the communication was open, honest, and respectful. There was no point that, because first and foremost, I appreciated their job, and I also discussed with them in such a way that it was mutually, so there was no issue at all. So even when it comes to them also making the final decision, because it was their own, they were in a position to make the final decision. The decision were, accommodating. I get them point now based on our interaction. They began to ask me even question whether I'm a pastor and all of that. Do you understand? Based on our interaction, I'm not a pastor. Do you understand? So that's what it means. So identify the root cause. First and foremost, your ability to be able to resolve any conflict is to identify the underlying causes of the conflict, because sometimes we focus on addressing the surface issues, not the surface. Look at the root cause of the problem. Look at the root cause of the problem. What is the root cause? You are just saying something at the surface, but there's what we call a root cause. There's something we call cause and effect. Do you understand? Anything that does not have a cause does not have an effect. So sometimes we focus on the effect without looking at the cause of that problem. Most of us talk about corruption in Nigeria, but we don't know the causes of corruption. You understand? What are the root causes of corruption? You are always talking about corruption. So what are the root causes? Even for instance, as the electorate and the followers, is because of this our irresponsibility as the followers to hold our leaders accountable is also a cause of corruption. Do you understand? But we don't see it. You understand? Because if we are holding our leaders accountable, by now we would have done with the issue of corruption in this country. You understand? So now, if we just focus on talking about corruption, you're not looking at the root cause, then you cannot be able to solve the problem of corruption. And that's why we have not been able to address the problem of corruption in this country, because we have not focused on the root cause. We always focus on what we are seeing on the surface. So when you want to resolve conflict, go deep. We have one of the conflict analysis tool that we use in resolving conflict is what we call the conflict tree analysis. Do you understand? The conflict tree, or the conflict tree, yes, analysis too. All right, it helps you to look at we talk about, like I say, they examine the cause-effect relationship of that problem. So we look at the stem. We use normal tree that you understand now. That you all of us have trees in our homes where we are. So you look at the tree. When you see a tree, we have what we call the stem. All right, we have the stem, we have the roots, and then we have the branches. Do you understand? So we consider the branches to be the effect. We consider the stem to be the core problem, and then we consider the roots of the tree to be the root causes. For instance, now that's what we use. So when you want to, analyze any issue, first and foremost, identify the issue. What is the issue? Okay, we can take, for instance, now we can use corruption as the issue. We are trying to resolve the problem of corruption, right? So now we put corruption as a core problem. That's the bone of contention. Then you go down, and then you look at it. What are the root causes of corruption? Inability of the electorate to hold the leaders accountable is number one. Number two, greed on the part of leadership. Number three, get rich quick syndrome. You understand? Also, some of this, so you just identify the root causes, you identify them. Weak institutions, do you understand, are also the reason. So once you identify some of these causes, then you can look at the effect. What are the effects? This is what we normally look at, the effect. So that is the surface. So when you want to address a problem, a conflict at the surface, you'll not be able to solve that conflict. You may be able to handle it to some extent, but so far as the root is still there,
You know, when you cut a tree and you do not remove the roots, it will still sprout out, right? It will still come out. It still, you know, germinate or sprout out and then bring another one and grow again. So that's why you must deal with the problem from the root. So underlying causes of a conflict must be identified and resolved. If you do that, you can be able to resolve conflict. And your emotional intelligence, if you are somebody that is emotionally intelligent, you'll be able to understand what you need to do to solve the problem. So let's look at another principle or strategy that you can deploy to resolve conflict, which is focusing on the interest, not on the position. Do you understand? Focus on the interest, not the positions, not the demands, not the stance. Somebody say, this is my position, this is my stand. No, you cannot be able to resolve conflicts like that. Focus on the interest. What is the interest? What is the common ground? What are the needs? Do you understand? Focus on the needs and the interest rather than the position. Because somebody is saying, this is my final stand. No, it shouldn't be. Let's look at something that is mutually beneficial to all the parties involved in the conflict. So once we are focusing on identifying a common ground, then it can help us to resolve the conflict in such a way that mostly it can guarantee a win-win. Do you understand? Everybody goes on happily. Then generate options. Once you are able to, identify the interests, once you are able to identify the needs of the parties in conflict, what do? Generate options. Bring options on board that are possibly or potential options that can address the problems. Don't just bring one. Do you understand? Bring alternatives, alternative solutions. Do you understand? So, and let's look at the one that best solve the problem. That's why the parties in conflict must go into what we call brainstorming. They must brainstorm and come out with the best options that can address their problem. Do you understand? Their disagreement. It's very important. So when you are able to generate the options, you evaluate, right, and choose the best solution or option. So because it's good that you should put those alternatives that you have generated into perspective, just put them under consideration, evaluate them, and determine how relevant they are to the proposed solution. Do you understand? So once you are able to determine the best option, then you choose it, and then you are implementing. Do you understand? So the next thing that you need to do when it comes to conflict resolution, one of the things that you're going to consider is implementation. All right, implement the solution. So once the solution is, agreed upon, establish a plan, right, for implementation. Establish a plan for implementation. There is no course of action that can, be implemented without a plan. So what a plan means is you draft a roadmap on how things are going to be done. Do you understand? It's a kind of a roadmap, and then you, at every juncture of the roadmap, you determine the course of action that should be taken to get to where you want to be. Do you understand? So you want to travel. Do you understand? You want to travel, for instance, now to Port Harcourt. Maybe you don't have your own car. So what you need to do, first and foremost, you move from your home to the park, right? And then you pay a fee, all right? And then they take you to where you want to go. Do you understand? And when you get to Port Harcourt and you want to go to where you want to be, maybe in a hotel, you still have to pay for someone to take you to your hotel. Those are courses of action. Do you understand? You must take them before you can get to your destination. So we must determine when we want to implement any solution that we have to choose, there must be an implementation plan, all right? There must be a roadmap on how things are going to be conducted, to make sure that what we are choosing is being implemented. Do you understand? So that's what it means. So let's look at follow-up. So once you have determined and put a course of action or roadmap for implementation, then you have to follow up. You have to put in a check to determine whether what you have agreed upon is what is being implemented. Because it's possible that there's what we call implementation lag, right? When you are carrying out implementation, there's a possibility that there may be deviation, that there's a possibility that you can go off the course. Do you understand? So once you go off the course, what do? You have to retrace your way back. And that's why it's important for you to follow up, right? That's why it's very important for you to follow up. In another language, if I can choose to use another language, I will say monitoring. Okay, you have to monitor, right? So monitoring gives you up to date or the status of your implementation activities, whether you are doing it well or not. Although in project management, when we're talking about monitoring span throughout the lifespan of the project, that is from the beginning, from the initiation, like what I was talking about, the principles or the strategies that I started discussing here. You start from the beginning, you start monitoring how everything is progressing, and then you gather information. It's that information that you can evaluate at the end of the day to determine whether your project is successful or not. Do you understand? So you also follow up. Follow up, it helps you to determine whether the course of action or the implementation is working as designed. If it's not, then don't be shy. You can, go back and look at it again, and then reapply or adjust some certain things. So be open for adjustment. All right. Wherever there's need for any adjustment, don't be there. If there's need, if you see that there are impossibilities, there are challenges, be open for what adjustment. Adjust some certain things just to make sure that sometimes you even because maybe some demands may be too high for someone to be able to fulfill at a particular time. What do? You lessen some of the demands so that somebody can be able to meet the expectations. Maybe as you progress at each level, then you begin to add small, and then as the person's capacity to be able to deal with the situation is developing, then you continue to increase the demands. Do you understand? Until you get to where you want to be. So, and if peradventure the parties in the conflict are not able to define the course of action, or are not able to facilitate a solution or determine a solution to their own problems, their own conflict, there's nothing wrong. You can bring in a third party who we call a mediator. Do you understand? You can seek mediation if necessary. So whenever there's a necessity for you to engage the services of a mediator, don't be afraid. You can come to us. Like, we have certified mediators in the institute. When you come, they are certified mediators and negotiators. Do you understand? They can help you to negotiate. They can help you to mediate. Do you understand? And then they will give you a good result. We have those that are practicing arbitrators as well. So we have everything here. So you have any challenge that you cannot be able to resolve as parties to the conflict, you can reach out to us. We can help you in that kind of situation, or we can delegate some of our members who are certified mediators and negotiators to help to mediate and facilitate, decision. That's the facilitate to help you to facilitate, to arrive at acceptable solutions for your problems. So now I want us to look at the importance of emotional intelligence in conflict resolution. What role emotional intelligence plays in conflict resolution? Now you and the strategies you can deploy to resolving conflicts, but how can emotional intelligence now help you to resolve conflicts effectively? Number one, emotional intelligence helps you to be, aware of yourself. That's what we talk about, self-awareness. Do you understand? We have discussed it here. And so self-awareness as one of the components of emotional intelligence. So it helps you to understand who you are, understand your emotions, and how they influence your course of action, how they influence your thinking, how they influence how you respond to issues. Do you understand? So when you are able to understand your emotions and how you can react when you are facing conflict, then it can help you to resolve conflict effectively. Do you understand? The ability to understand yourself, your emotions, what you can do, what you cannot do, how you respond in conflicting situation, determine to a larger extent how you resolve the conflicts. But sometimes, and most of the times, we live in self-denial. Do you understand? Because of inability to determine who we are. We are offended, we are affected, we are actually disturbed, but we are pretending that we are not, for instance, let me give you an example that may likely be what has happened to you or is happening to you. Maybe you feel offended with your spouse, and he or she maybe is talking to you and you are not responding as you are supposed to respond, and is asking you, or she is asking you, is everything all right? And you say, yeah, everything is all right, everything is fine. You are pretending everything is not all right. You understand? So you should be able to understand your emotion. You are not responding the way you're supposed to respond. And then they ask you, is everything all right? You say everything is all right. How all right it is that you are not responding effectively as you're supposed to respond. So what you need to do is understand your emotion and find a way you can be able to resolve or respond in a way that will not escalate the problem. So that's the second thing I want us to discuss. The second thing is self-regulation. You understand yourself, you regulate yourself. It's one thing to understand yourself, and then it's another thing to regulate that yourself. Some of us always confess, I know who I am. I don't keep quiet. I cannot keep quiet. Do you understand? No. If you cannot keep quiet, then you are just a parrot. Most of the times you need to keep quiet. And sometimes the best way is to keep quiet. At the first instance, when there's a conflict, the best way is to keep quiet. And that's why, if you see when the police go to arrest you, the first thing they will tell you is, do what? You have the right to maintain silence. Do you understand? They tell you, you have the right to maintain silence, that whatever you say here may be used against you in the court of law. Because at that point, you may be running your mouth and then run yourself into trouble. Do you understand? So the best thing is to keep quiet. And when you are able to control your emotions, when you are able to regulate your emotions, let me use the term, when you are able to self-regulate your emotions, do you understand? Then you can respond. In this way, you are responding after thought. Tension has been calmed down. Do you understand? So you have calmed yourself down now, has been reduced. So what do? You can now respond. Respectful and in a thoughtful manner. Do you understand? So in that way, you'll be able to save yourself certain stress. The reason why sometimes people drag conflict to a point that they have to, husband and wife, they drag until parents will come to hear it, because they have not taken time to. I have issues. I had issues, okay, in the past. And one thing that I hate so much, I don't want people to know my problem. And because I don't want people to know my problem, I try to, as much as possible, to control my emotion to a point that I also have to. Even if it means I will go down on my knees and beg that let's resolve this problem, let's resolve it. Do you understand? But because if I say I will not take that nonsense, okay, the other person to say I'm not taking that nonsense. So we'll continue to drag until people who are not supposed to know our problem begins to know our problem. Then we are not mature enough. Then we are not being able to regulate our emotions well. We are not emotionally intelligent. Because an emotionally intelligent person should be able to know that there's a way I can regulate my emotions and be able to deal with the problem. Do you understand? No matter how, if the problem is so tense at the start, calm down, don't respond. There are some times that I keep quiet over some issues. You know, sometimes my wife will not be comfortable with that my reaction, but that's the best way I can go. Otherwise, I may end up killing myself sometimes. You understand? I will kill myself before my time. I cannot go and kill myself before my time. Because most people that say I will not take it, I will not take it, most of the times they end up dying unnecessary death. You're okay. For instance, now two people want to fight. You want to separate them. You understand? You say, please don't fight too. They say, I must fight, I must fight. They are just dragging and showing muzzle. I must fight, I must fight. Then you say, okay, so since you say you want to fight, no problem. You can go ahead and fight. And then, before you know it, they carry hammer and hammer his head. The next thing is rush to the hospital. The next thing is he's gone. You understand? The other person may go to prison, but you are died. You are dead and gone. That is, you are a forgotten matter now. He in prison may have opportunity to still enjoy his freedom. Do you understand? So you don't need to die on unnecessary death because you don't take shit, you don't take nonsense. Sometimes you take certain nonsense for peace to reign and also for your own good. Because as you are not taking nonsense, now you go suffer. One, you'll be distracted. Two, you waste money unnecessary. You waste your time, productive time. Either you are going to court, maybe one of the reasons, one of the things I hate so much is to take somebody to the police station. You understand? There are certain things that I have to let go simply because I don't want to waste my productive time going to the police station. Do you understand? Because I feel that the time that I will waste going to the police station or going to court, I can use that time and be more productive. And even what I'm trying to do, there are some agents, I get them money for a house. They could not give me that. Then they could not refund my agency fee. Some of them refund. I say I call them, I'll say, I will take you to police. But I look at it that the time I will be going to the police station to address this problem, I can use that time and be more productive in my life, more than what I'm talking about. You understand? I'm talking about some thousands, like maybe 50, 60,000. You understand? And then I'll go and waste the whole of going to police. I'm spending more money going to police. I'm wasting time that I can engage and do something productive. Simply because I don't take nonsense. No, I need to take certain nonsense of my time, for the safety of my health, for the safety of my, my reasoning and my, So it has to be. Today we were looking at, we were coming back from Cuba, and then we saw two ladies. They were arguing with one Okada. Do you understand? So me and the guy we were together, Daniel, look at me and say that those two guys argue. If we go there and ask questions now, and the argument they were doing there, if cares not taking a result, you understand, it will become a problem. And on account of what? 15 naira that you can let go. 15 naira that on a good day you can die somebody. 100 naira that on a good day you can dash somebody and go your own way. By insisting that he must give you change. He said he doesn't have change, then you are quarreling that you must receive change. So sit yourself sometimes you waste time and also land ourselves into problems. Do you understand? And this my life is the value of my life and my time is more than 15 naira. So Okada, just stop arguing. Once I drop and you say no change, I don't waste time. It's 200 naira, it's 300 naira, sir. Just go. My time is more than 300 naira. My person, my life is more than 300. I don't even waste one second discussing. I don't get change. I don't get change. Do you understand? I don't have that time. So that's what it means. So once we are able to understand some of these things, we will save ourselves so much trouble. And it helps you to regret how you react, how you respond. Do you understand? Then empathy. Empathy is putting yourself in someone's shoe, like we have discussed, trying to understand somebody's perspective, discuss and respond with someone's in mind, not just about you. I think we have said such. So yesterday we were discussing about social skills, right? Talking about effective communications, right? We talk about active listening, talk about collaboration. All of them are social skills that you need to resolve conflict, all right? So all of these are essential for resolving conflict. Individuals with strong emotional intelligence can communicate their feelings and intentions, clearly, and they listen actively, all right, also to what others are saying. So that's what it means. So when you have those social skills that we discussed yesterday embedded in you, then you have no challenge at all. You have no challenge. You can deal with anybody. I told my wife that, see, I'm learning to live with everybody. Because as a leader, you come to interact with so many people in life. So I am training myself as a future leader. You understand? I can interact with difficult people. And sometimes you as a person, sometimes you need something from people. Then there are sometimes you even go as if you are begging. Do you understand? So if you are so arrogant, you may miss certain opportunities simply because you cannot be able to interact. You cannot be able to, regulate how you feel to get what you want. So you can miss opportunities. So as a person, I am training myself to live with anybody, the simple, the difficult. Do you understand? So that's how I'm training myself. So I told my wife, that's how I'm training myself to live. So it's not just about I have a misunderstanding with somebody, then I cannot be, me and that person cannot. No. It's not me. We have a misunderstanding. Yes, we can still interact together. We can still solve problems together. We can still settle issues together. Except if the challenge we have threatens my existence, then in that situation we can have some limitations, some boundaries built. Do you understand? So that we will not be having challenges anymore. So that's what it means. So conflict management. So you also need emotional intelligence and conflict management, right? Like this, what we're discussing, equips individuals with the skills to manage and resolve conflicts productively. So that's what emotional intelligence helps you. And then adaptability. Emotional intelligence, helps individuals adapt to changing circumstances, because circumstances can change, situations can change, status quo change. Do you understand? So when they change, what happens? Key yourself. I was watching one video today, and then I saw a video when Gawan was in foreign country attending to a meeting, and he was overthrown here. And they told him that your government has been overthrown. And he was responding that there's no challenge and nobody should worry. There's no problem at all. Do you understand? I think he must appreciate the fact that he knew that something like this was going to happen one day, because at that time there was issue of coup d'etat here and there and there. So I believe he must have freed his mind that any day they took the power, I'm moving. And provided they would take the power without my life being taken, so I must be grateful then, because some coup d'etats, you see bloodshed. So I believe he must have concluded that it's the power that they are taking, not my life. So there's no challenge. Nobody should be panicked. There's no issue. He was confidently smiling and talking and discussing with people. Do you understand? That's how it is. So adaptability. Now, changing circumstances. When a situation changes, how do you respond? Some of us, the way we'll be responding is very, very terrible. Do you understand? Very, very terrible. We just respond anyhow. Some of us feel as if that is the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. You can still move on with your life. Do you understand? You can still move on with your life. So it shouldn't be just like you are looking at it as if it's the end of the world. No, it's not. It's not the end of the world. You can still move on and do whatever you want to do. They say you are no longer the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Just move on. You were not elected Speaker. You were elected as a member. So if tomorrow they say, Oga, you are no longer the Speaker, why the struggle? Why are you struggling? They say you are Senate chairman committee on Senate committee on so, chairman of Senate committee on so, and tomorrow you say, oh, we have removed you. You were not elected as a committee chairman. It's a privilege that you are enjoying in the Senate. So why are you making noise? Why the trouble in the first place? Do you understand? Why the trouble? So, but these are the things that sometimes we use and hit the politics. We make the political environment and atmosphere so tense because of maybe certain benefits and privilege we enjoy in those positions. If you can understand these things, you will not be worried, you will not be bothered. You will not even create troubles. All right? So you need this. Emotional intelligence can help you to have, be able to deal with situations like this and be able to solve problems and deal with conflicts. Then let's look at strategies for managing and resolving conflicts in a constructive manner. So what are the strategies you are going to deploy to, you can resolve conflicts, but if there's a difference when you resolve conflict in a constructive manner. Do you understand? This is what we're talking about. Some of us, we resolve conflicts, but not as professionally as it's supposed to be. So how can you resolve conflict in a professional and constructive manner? This is what I want us to discuss. So I don't know whether you guys you are following me and you are understanding what I'm saying. Let me check to know whether, because before somebody say I'm not hearing you, I'm not hearing you. Okay, I can see that you guys are hearing me, so there nobody's complaining. So let's go. Now, managing and resolving conflict in a constructive manner is essential for maintaining healthy relationships and achieving positive outcomes. Do you understand? So when we learn how to manage and resolve conflict in a constructive way, it builds relationships. It creates an atmosphere that is productive and engaging and bring outcomes, results that are very, very positive. I say something, those are some of you that are just joining now. Let me just cut a bit and say this. By Thursday, we are starting our peace clinic. That is, we are going to feature those that are participating in this training in peace clinic. All right. And it's one of the criteria that we outlined that maybe we'll still share them so that you see what is expectation, what is expected that you should be able to do to you for you to be awarded this certificate. I don't want to There are some of our training, future trainings that we're going to do. If you participate, you have to go to the community and do something. You have to do a project, community project. Either you organize a training for the youth, you record and share it to us. We want to see that you are doing something with the knowledge we give to you. All right. And then when we are going to organize a training on workplace conflict management, we can also encourage you to go to your in the place of work, take a permission from your management to organize the same training for the employees in your organization. Do you understand? And then you record it and share to us as one of the requirements for the fulfillment and the award of the certificate. Right? Next month, we are going to have a training on alternative dispute resolution. We must engage you, develop some projects that you people will do. You just go out there, do something, snap and send to us how you are able to resolve certain issues and handle certain issues. It's very important so that we know that you are applying the knowledge. So now we are going to go on Peace Clinic. Peace Clinic is our avenue of educating people and then bringing about issues, giving people opportunity to share their perspective on certain topical issues that are related to peace and conflict management. Future you, those of you that are participating in this training in our Peace Clinic, to discuss topical issues related to emotional intelligence and also conflicts. Do you understand? And we already have some topics around. So I want people to identify that they are interested to be featured. We don't want to make it compulsory, but I want to encourage you to see this as an avenue to share your viewpoint to our audience. Do you understand? Out there, and then also to, it's also one way to develop your capacity, because as I'm talking, you may not maybe shy, maybe you have not had the opportunity to be in a studio for presentations like that, and so this may be an avenue for you to train yourself as well. And then for those that have been doing and have been invited to have such kind of conversation, then it's going to be an avenue for you to also share your experiences and your capabilities, your skills with us. Do you understand? And then make presentations, share viewpoints, and then people can listen to you. So please, if you want us to feature you on Thursday or any of the days going forward, today we'll still do it. Do you understand? So if you want us to feature you, just make a comment in the group, in the comment section, that yes, you are interested to be featured. So on Thursday, we'll bring 4 of you. So as many people as may comment that are interested, no problem. We're going to identify you. We'll get your contact. We'll send your number we'll send the topics to you. So at least you have time to look at it, to research, and then check certain things, study it. So you come into the studio, we'll ask you questions, you respond. Do you understand? And you are not responding alone. So you will be 4 in the studio, definitely. So we'll ask a question, you can respond, another person responds, everybody share this or her own perspective. Do you understand? And then, so it's going to be an interactive session. So please, if you want us to feature you in a Peace Clinic going forward, from Thursday going forward, just make a comment that you are interested. So the topic will be shared ahead, and then you go through it and check certain things, and then see how you can respond when a question comes your way. So I think that's a good opportunity, right? I know it's a good opportunity, and you would like to take it. So that's it. So let's continue. So we're looking at the strategies for managing and resolving conflict in a constructive manner. So one of the strategies that you can deploy is stay calm and listen actively. Stay calm. When there is a conflict, what do? Stay calm and respond when you have the opportunity to respond. Listen first. Stay calm. Don't be vibrating. Some people, have you seen when somebody, for instance, now, maybe I have seen people on the road, maybe a kind of misunderstanding, and then nobody wants to hear, nobody wants to listen. Everybody is just shouting and talking. And have you been to a marketplace where market women disagree? Nobody listen to anybody. Everybody is just talking and saying whatever they want to say. You understand? You don't need to do it that way. It doesn't matter how provoked. Calm down. Just stay calm and listen actively to what someone is saying. When the person must have said and make, it doesn't matter. Sometimes you'll be pained. They will say things that will seriously hurt you, that you want to say something, you'll be just, you'll be, you'll be eager and anxious to say something, but you just have to calm down. Calm all the way down and stay calm and listen. Listen as if you have nothing to say. And then until the person is exhausted, because sometimes people are just offended and they want to vent their anger. All right? They want to vent their anger. So what do? Let them vent their anger. When they are done, you can respond. It can be apology. It can be in a response in form of apology or explanation or just your own perspective. You can share it in a respectful manner. So that's why you must stay calm and listen. Based on what the person is saying, you can also respond based on what the person says. All right? So when conflict arises, try to stay calm and compose yourself. Compose. All right, so I'm listening to you. Sometimes it may not be aggressive conflict. It may not be really that it's abusive. It's not. It's sometimes it may not be like it's a shouting situation. It may be just a normal calm interaction, but it's a conflicting situation that you're trying to address. So what do you say? Sir, I'm listening to you. You can go ahead and say whatever you have to say. The person says a lot. Some of the things hurt you seriously, but you are just maintaining your cool until the person is landed. Once he's landed, you can now come in. And while the person is talking, try as much as possible not to interrupt the person. Allow the person to talk and exhaust whatever they want to say. So we say you should do what? One of the ways you can deal with conflict in a constructive manner is to stay calm and listen. That is one. Number two, communicate clearly and respectfully. I explained to you the importance of clarity in communication yesterday, and why it's important for you also to communicate respectfully, because it promotes dignity. Do you understand? Human dignity. Because it doesn't matter who you are dealing with, whether it's a child, it's a younger person, an older person. Let our communication build human beings. Most of the times our communication are so destructive, so very, very destructive. And that's what makes people so painful, and they look at as if human beings are wicked. It's because of the way we communicate. We don't communicate to build, we communicate to destroy. Look at you, are talking to me, you cannot amount to anything. You cannot, in your lifetime, you cannot reach my level. And you're talking to me. This kind of communication, does it build anything? Who told you that in his lifetime he cannot be able to? He can be more than even you. He may be a potential presidential person that you are talking to. You understand? So why should